The news broke like a thunderclap across the South China Sea. Headlines flashed across screens and the world's attention snapped to a remote corner of the Pacific, where a new chapter in a long, simmering conflict was being written. On a remote speck of land, the Philippines has just unveiled its longest military runway yet, right in the heart of the disputed Spratly Islands. This is not just another infrastructure project, it's a bold move in a region where every meter of concrete carries geopolitical weight. This isn't just a strip of concrete, it's a bold statement. It's a declaration that the Philippines intends to hold its ground, no matter the odds stacked against it. For years, the world has watched China build fortresses on artificial islands, transforming reefs into military outposts bristling with radar domes and missile batteries. Now, a much smaller nation is pushing back, refusing to be overshadowed by its giant neighbor. The air here is thick with tension, and this runway has just turned up the heat. Every new development in these waters is a potential flashpoint, and the stakes are rising with every passing day. Tonight we look at what this runway on Pagasa Island really means, not just for the Philippines but for the entire region, and for the delicate balance of power in the South China Sea. The Philippine flag flies over this small community, a lonely outpost of democracy in a sea of rising autocracy. Here, the flag is more than a symbol. It's a daily reminder of sovereignty, of a people determined to defend their home. The completion of this project is a monumental achievement in both engineering and political will. Against the odds, Filipino engineers, soldiers, and workers braved harsh conditions and constant uncertainty to finish what many thought impossible. It sends a clear message to Beijing and the world: the Philippines is not backing down. This is a show of resolve, a signal that the country will defend its claims, no matter how daunting the challenge. Imagine Philippine military transport planes larger than any that could land here before, touching down on this fresh strip of pavement. Supplies, reinforcements, and humanitarian aid can now reach Pagasa faster and more reliably than ever. For the small community of Filipinos living on Pagasa, this is more than just infrastructure, it's a lifeline. It means better access to food, medicine, and connection to the rest of the country. For the children who play near the runway, it's a symbol of hope and a promise of safety. In a region where China's Coast Guard and maritime militia often act with impunity, this runway is a powerful new deterrent. It's a physical reminder that the Philippines is here to stay, and that it will not be intimidated into silence or retreat. Every move in the South China Sea is scrutinized and met with a countermove. China is undoubtedly watching with alarm, recalibrating its own strategies as the balance of power shifts, even if only slightly, in these contested waters. The Philippine government pressed forward, knowing this project would provoke a reaction. Yet, they also knew that inaction would mean surrendering their rights and their future. This runway is a calculated risk, a strategic play designed to change the facts on the ground. It's a move that forces the world to pay attention, to reconsider old assumptions about power in the South China Sea. It's a story about a nation standing up for its rights, using the tools it has to secure its future. It's about courage, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of a people who refuse to be pushed aside. The world is now watching to see what happens next. Allies and rivals alike are gauging their responses, knowing that the next move could shape the region for years to come. The stakes have never been higher. In these contested waters, every action echoes far beyond the horizon, and the future of the South China Sea hangs in the balance. To truly grasp the significance of the new runway, you first need to understand the unique story of Pagasa Island, an isolated speck in the vast South China Sea that holds far more weight than its size suggests. At just 37 hectares, Pagasa might seem insignificant on a map, but its importance to the Philippines and to the region is immense, far outweighing its physical footprint. Internationally, it's known as Thitu Island, and it stands as the largest of the Spratly Islands under Philippine administration, a vital outpost in a contested sea. Its strategic position in the West Philippine Sea places it at the heart of one of the world's most disputed maritime regions, making it a focal point for both national pride and international tension. But Pagasa isn't just a military installation or a remote outpost, it's a living, breathing community, the only one in the Spratlys with a permanent civilian population, where daily life continues despite the uncertainty. These resilient civilians are the heart and soul of the Philippines' claim, transforming Pagasa from a mere garrison into a functioning municipality, complete with families, children, and a sense of normalcy. While other claimants in the Spratlys maintain only soldiers on barren, windswept rocks, the Philippines has built homes, schools, and a community, proof of a lasting presence. This simple civilian life is more than just routine. It's a powerful symbol of sovereignty, a daily assertion that this land is not just occupied, but truly lived on. The island's location is critical, just 25 kilometers from China's heavily militarized Subi Reef, making it a front line in the ongoing struggle for control in the region. Residents live with a constant reminder of their powerful neighbor, often spotting Chinese Coast Guard ships looming on the horizon, a visible sign of the tension that surrounds their home. For years, the old runway was short, frequently flooded, and barely usable. Only small aircraft could land, making defense, emergency evacuation, and even basic resupply missions nearly impossible, leaving the community vulnerable and isolated. The island often felt cut off from the rest of the country, a distant thought for many in Manila, with communication and support a constant challenge. But that sense of isolation is beginning to change. The construction of a new modern runway is more than just an infrastructure upgrade. It's a lifeline, a bridge connecting Pagasa to the Philippine mainland, and a clear commitment that this lonely outpost will never be left behind. Today, Pagasa stands not just as a remote island, but as a front line of Philippine sovereignty, a symbol of resilience, determination, and hope in the face of overwhelming odds. Constructing this runway was a feat of engineering and courage. Every ship carrying materials had to navigate waters patrolled by the Chinese. Construction crews worked under constant surveillance, with Chinese Coast Guard vessels swarming the area. The Philippine government provided naval escorts, turning a simple project into a tense military operation. Every meter of pavement laid was an act of defiance. The project faced delays from both Chinese interference and the logistical challenges of building in such a remote location. Transporting thousands of tons of materials, battling typhoons, and working far from home required determination. The completion of the runway is a victory for the engineers, soldiers, and policymakers who pushed it through. It's a story of David building a shield while Goliath watches. The government framed the project as a necessary upgrade for safety and humanitarian purposes. But everyone knew the deeper meaning. Building something permanent is the loudest statement you can make. The new runway on Pagasa Island is a strategic game-changer. The old strip could only handle small planes. Now the 3-kilometer runway can accommodate large transport aircraft and potentially fighter jets. This fundamentally alters the military calculus in the region. Resupplying the island is now faster and safer, allowing for a more robust presence. In a crisis, the Philippines can rapidly reinforce or evacuate the island. The runway turns a vulnerable outpost into a defensible forward base. It complicates China's strategic planning and serves as a powerful deterrent. Long-range patrol aircraft can now monitor Chinese activities more closely. The island is no longer just a symbol, it's a functional hub that extends the Philippine state's reach. This is a shift from a passive presence to an active posture. The balance of power in the Spratlys is changing. The legal dimension is crucial, and the Pagasa runway highlights a stark contrast. Pagasa is a naturally formed island, entitled to territorial waters, and an exclusive economic zone under UNCLOS. The Philippines has maintained a continuous presence for over 50 years, supported by international law and the 2016 Hague ruling. China's claims are built on artificial islands which do not have the same legal rights. The Philippine project is an upgrade on sovereign territory. China is building territory to claim sovereignty. This distinction underpins the entire conflict. By investing in Pagasa, the Philippines grounds its actions within international law. The new runway is not just a military asset, it's a legal and diplomatic tool. It reinforces the message that the Philippines is defending its legitimate rights. The moral and legal high ground is one of the Philippines' most important assets. The Pagasa runway adds new tension to an already volatile region. While the Philippines sees it as defensive, China views it as a provocation. The risk of miscalculation and accidental confrontation grows with each new military asset. Both sides can now operate larger, faster aircraft from runways just minutes apart. A single close encounter could escalate into a crisis. Other claimant states like Vietnam and Malaysia may follow suit, leading to a regional arms race. China's strategy of intimidation is now being met with direct resistance. The runway forces Beijing's hand, compelling it to react. Its response will set the tone for the next phase of this conflict. The story of the Pagasa runway is also about alliances, about how nations come together in the face of shared challenges and shifting power dynamics in the region. The Philippines is America's oldest treaty ally in Asia, bound by a mutual defense treaty signed in 1951. This agreement has stood the test of time, shaping the security landscape of Southeast Asia for generations. In recent years, this alliance has been revitalized and strengthened, largely in response to China's growing assertiveness and territorial claims in the South China Sea. The U.S. has made it clear that the Mutual Defense Treaty extends to the South China Sea, reaffirming its commitment to defend Philippine interests in these contested waters. On Palawan, the U.S. is investing heavily in military upgrades, building new facilities, improving runways, and enhancing logistics. This transforms the island into a strategic springboard for both defense and deterrence. The visible American presence provides not just material support but also a powerful psychological deterrence against potential aggressors. The U.S. supplies advanced military aid, specialized training, and crucial intelligence including real-time satellite imagery and surveillance data, helping the Philippines modernize its armed forces. Regular joint patrols between the U.S. and Philippine navies send a clear and unmistakable signal of solidarity and shared resolve to the world. The new runway on Pagasa Island is a key piece in this broader strategy of integrated deterrence, enabling rapid deployment and resupply in times of crisis. It significantly enhances the Philippines' operational capabilities and, if needed, could serve as a forward base for U.S. aircraft, further strengthening the alliance's reach. This synergy, combining Philippine self-reliance with the strength of the U.S. alliance, forms the backbone of Manila's current defense strategy. The Philippines is building its own fence, fortifying its territory, but it is America that provides the ultimate shield, offering advanced missile defense and security guarantees. This powerful combination of national resolve and allied support gives Manila the confidence to make bold moves, secure in the knowledge that it does not stand alone. Beyond geopolitics, this conflict has a human cost. Filipino fishermen face daily harassment from Chinese vessels, threatening their livelihoods. The new runway offers hope. A stronger military and Coast Guard presence could provide better protection. Air patrols mean the government can respond more quickly when fishermen are in distress. For Pagasa's civilian community, the runway is a lifeline, better access to food, medicine, and emergency evacuation. But it also turns their home into a more prominent military target. These families live on the front line, knowing the risks. Their resilience is extraordinary, but they carry a heavy burden for their country. The hopes and fears of a nation are now tied to this strip of concrete. The new runway on Pagasa Island is a symbol of national pride and resilience. For the Philippines, it's a stand for sovereignty and a refusal to be intimidated. The project has united Filipinos behind the cause of protecting the West Philippine Sea. The goal is peaceful deterrence, making any aggression too costly. Yet with hope comes fear. A single mistake could ignite a conflict with devastating consequences. The peace in the region feels more fragile than ever. The future of the South China Sea hangs in the balance. The hopes of the Filipino people and the fears of an entire region are now paved into that 3-kilometer strip on Pagasa Island.